So, I thought I'd just tackle CW Verse, because quite honestly, it's getting a little annoying. So basically, if you want the full story, he tried snagging an IP of a friend of mine, and now he's whinging about me not mentioning something a friend of mine said, which is not my obligation. I do not need to say that, I agree with this, I support this, or whatever. But then again, this is the same guy that whines about people not having like 100k subs and then whinges when you have something to say under 100 subs. It's very weird. But essentially we had a back and forth about DC Comics and MCU scaling. He has a post up which is just simply him mischaracterizing the conversation, because at that point the conversation was ended, so he just responded after an entirely separate discussion using points that weren't his to quote-unquote prove something. And I know those are points made from biased sources, but I got really nothing to say more than that. I don't appreciate being mischaracterized by CWverse. I will say to anyone who actually does watch this, because I don't really have much faith in CW's audience doing that. He does like to pretend he's better than he is. I fell for that originally too. I did, unfortunately. But if you actually discuss with CW, you will realize he is not as smart as he thinks he is. Neither am I, but I do know that I'm definitely above CWverse. Also, if you want a nice juicy bit of hypocrisy, recently he decided to whinge at me for, what was it? It was not mentioning what Smokey said, which is something about religion or something. I don't like to get into topics like that. It's just not for me. I don't deal with that out of sight, out of mind, purposefully. But when it comes to, and he made a point about me not making a post or me not making a video on something a friend said. But I just found it funny, especially considering, when there was someone doing something, Samara, he did nothing. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on the matter. Okay, so real quick, don't know if I'm stitching this before or after the original recording, which is me on CW, but just wanted to address two things. My motivation for making this isn't like recording my voice. I haven't really done this before, aside from, discussing with Axelip, like, months ago, like a very long time ago, and I got one-shotted in that discussion, unfortunately. I haven't really put my voice out there. I've decided to now, because I've been reading about logic and I've been trying to get into the debate scene, but I haven't really fully gotten in there yet. So I think that this is a move in the right direction that'll help me get into the scene proper. The second thing I wanted to address is CW makes some defenses for him trying to snag IP addresses, which I find to be laughable at best, quite honestly. One of his defenses, I had to look this up just to, really clarify it, is he whinges and whines about being taken out of context, which is hilarious if you know anything about the DC MCU scaling discussion, because he took that out of context. But anyway, what we've got is he likes to point out that, I'm taking him out of context or something, even though I showed the full discussion. But he clarified in a previous discussion we've had literally just like 20 minutes ago, maybe, on Daredevil Born Again, which really went nowhere. But, he likes to, the motivations for CW sending that link. I'll give you the motivations right now. He said, and I have proof of this, he said he did it for fun. Stealing people's IP addresses must be fun for him, I suppose. Or trying to. And he also did it because he doesn't like Smokey. Now, he does maintain, because I did claim in a post of mine that he did it over fiction, yada yada, and he whines and whines that he doesn't do that. But all I really need to do to establish a pattern there is show you how he talks about me in DM discussions when he's mad, or even in servers when he's mad. He'll jump to conclusions, which we all do, I suppose. I'm guilty of that, and I get more progressively aware of that the more discussions I enter. In fact, I did so today in the Born Again discussion, but he didn't pick up on it. I just think it's pretty interesting because he decides to jump to a conclusion that he doesn't have any basis for, which he whinges about me doing, and then, whatever. So that's one incentive. The other thing he gets on is, well, I wouldn't have received it, which is, also laughable because he admits that even if he was going to not receive it or, would have received it, it doesn't make it right. You can read up on articles. There's things called private IP addresses and public IP addresses. He would have only gotten the public IP address, but it is still someone's information that they didn't consent to being out there, stolen from them because he did actually try to trick him into clicking the link. I don't know why I have to explain that, but apparently I do. I can still defend this on Discord if I really have to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've decided to put my voice out there, even if it's just in this one video, just to really, get it out there so I can start debating. That's pretty much it. CW is dishonest, and hopefully none of you fall for his bravado again. This is like the third recording I've done for this, but I'll make this one extremely quick. It's just occurred to me that he's still probably going to pull some nonsense about, whatever, refute it like a good boy or whatever, which he still thinks is funny for whatever reason, I don't know. But what I thought I'd do, just to be, a fair, balanced LSW, is why don't I show you the entire DM conversation we had about DC MCU scaling, right? Just to show you where it ended, show you another discussion about Marvel Rivals Loki thing, which really that's not going to be the focus, but I'm just going to be showing you enough of that just to prove that that's what we discussed. It was kind of a ridiculous discussion, but whatever. And then you get the response that he gets in his little post. I thought it'd be an interesting thing to do because, I like to whine about how he's, mischaracterizing me. Not enough because, people underestimate me. I underestimate myself more than other people do, but I think it's important to demonstrate for the people that, aren't absolute Neanderthals that, no, I was misrepresented in his post, he's dishonest, and he is not as good as he'd like you to think he is. So yeah, that's really what I'm going to be doing. You can watch that. It's going to be the screen recording of the conversation. I might get rid of the time and stuff on my phone just so you don't know where I'm from, but you probably will know. It doesn't matter, but you get the point. It's just, that's the only thing that I'll be removing if I can. Aside from that, just read the discussion. I ask that you read it in full. It's not that long. At most, it's a 2-minute discussion. And then, that's it. Just combat the narrative. CW is not that guy. That's all.